All right. Let's do, just a quickie before we start because we're gonna do some pretty interesting things today. What is important that we sort of, know what we did before a little bit. First question: do you guys remember if statements? They're pretty simple, straightforward, correct?
Yeah, they're nice.
They're very nice, yeah. And they you could use them for flow of control and execute things that you want or that you don't want. And you guys remember how to use these, right? Then equals, not equals, the and ors, less than or greater than, or equal, and not for negate. You guys remember that, right? Remember, these are your tools. Hopefully, I'll put this in a more friendlier version and send it to you. But I mean, I sent you this too. Probably not the updated one. But yeah, but these should be this is bread and butter right here. Okay. Uh, you guys remember that you could do compound ifs, correct? You could combine to see if this is true and this is true or this is true, and then you go on. Okay. Switch is kind of like a fancy if statement. Don't worry about that too much. It's like a cleaner version of it, which we might use later. Okay, loops. What do you guys remember about loops? What's cool about loops? What's that?
It's a construct that helps repeat a task n number of times.
That's right. Oh, don't read, you cheater. But that's okay. That is okay.
I'm just reading from my
Yeah,
mind. I'm not
yeah.
reading
Oh,
that.
okay. Good, good, good. So yeah, it's a construct that we use to repeat code over and over, and we have certain, we could use it in combination with other constructs to make things easier. For example, iterating through a list or some kind of collection. Okay. You guys remember the loops? Oh, I think the best. Where did we write our loop logic was here, I think, right? Uh, 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 uh. Let's see. Where was our loop logic? You guys remember? I think it was here. Might have been in the. Oh wait, this is the new one. Yeah, it's fine. Here. Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah, there you go. Do you guys remember the for each statement?
Yeah,
Okay.
for each
Uh,
screens get screened.
yeah. So for each, basically, remember to read it. For each item in the collection, do a whole bunch of things. And what is representing each item in the collection? Don't forget. Remember, item is representing everything in the collection. For
The item is in the list.
Yeah, exactly. So this item here, basically, this means do for each item in here in this collection, do whatever's in here. And the way you handle each of them is by using the word item. I mean this variable item here. Oh, I think we did this. We did the looping in the other project. I think it's not in this one. Let me see. Should I bring that up? I mean, you guys
Yeah,
are.
we did it the class before. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. It wasn't in this project. It was in the other one here. I mean, I could bring it up, but you guys are legit. You guys good somewhat on loops?
Doing good on loops.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm gonna throw you guys some curves. I'm gonna leave you guys out there drowning, and I'm gonna give you guys a kind of like a little assignment and see how you guys handle it. Okay. Yeah. So remember loops. You remember if statements. You can remember collections, a list. Do you get what else other than the list that we use? What
Array.
We used an array. Okay. And what is the bottom floor, the first index of an array? What number?
0.
That is correct. Yep. What's the difference between an array and a list?
Array is static, list is dynamic.
That is correct. That is correct. Okay, so this is beautiful. So this is beautiful. So you guys got a little something. Okay, you guys remember. So now let's continue. Ta-da! Last time we got here. Now let's go. What is the one thing I always talk about? It's convention, yes. And the flow. Remember, NVC and programming really in general, it's all about flow. How information flows from one status form to another, or flows from one place to another, and just how it goes pretty much. And remember, you have to keep telling yourself that, because that pretty much what it is. Remember, when I ask you to tell me what the flow of a certain link is, I'm asking you to tell me what control does it go, and then in that controller, what controller does it go to, and then on that controller, what action does it go to, and then that action, what view or what result, what kind of stuff it goes, where does it go, and what does it do. So that is the one thing that is very important to remember in programming and in anything pretty much. So I got good news for you guys. Okay. Today we're going to continue to expand on our example of creating a character and creating a cool RPG roster of characters. So do you guys remember what we did last time? I'm going to run this. And remember, what controller are we using for this?
The game controller.
Yep. So most of the things that we're dealing with, we're going to use the game controller. So that's where we're going to be. So I have something called game create character. We made that. And it looks pretty crappy. We'll make it look better someday or later on. But the important thing is that we're getting the information here and we're doing the important work here. Okay? Okay, so, well, let's see where we are. So, tasty flute, Bart, 111. Okay, so now, do me a favor here. I'm just gonna, this is right here. Okay, do me a favor. So, well, first of all, what is this that I'm dealing with here in this page?
Form.
That's right. And when I click on this button here, what is going to happen? What is the flow?
It's going to send the form data through the controller.
That's right.
And the controller is going to decide where to put it, which I believe in this case is the display character page.
Well, no, you guys always skip one. You guys always skip one phase. Remember, controller, but what always goes after the controller? In the controller, where are you going in the controller? To the action.
Gotcha.
Don't forget about that. That's the most important part over here. That is the most important part. And remember, if you want to see, just F12, and then look at some of the, you could look at the elements, and you look at the form. Look at that. Where are we going? Where did this action submit into? Where's this form submitting to? It's going to the game controller. And we're going to the action process create character. So all this information is going to be submitted. This form information is going to be submitted to this action. And this action is pretty much going to process it or do stuff with it. Okay. Again, I have to keep repeating this, and you have to keep repeating you keep repeating this to yourself because it has to become kind of second nature. It, to know what the flow is or how it is. Okay, so now I'm gonna hit this create character here. Here I go. You guys ready? And then let's see if it goes there. Boom! Look at that. But well, first of all, why did it stop here? Why is there like an arrow here, and why did it stop here? Can you guys tell me?
You put in a breakpoint.
That's right. I put in a breakpoint by clicking all the way on the left here, and I said, hey man, when you're executing this code, I want you to stop here, and then it's gonna be cool. Also notice that you see this button over here. That stop. Right now the execution is stopped. If I want to continue, then I hit continue, and then it goes on until the next breakpoint. Okay, so now do we have our data? How do I examine if we got our data, if the data was passed correctly?
Can you highlight it? Is it highlightable, or we got to go through F12 and take a look at what happens?
Well, we're here. We're in Visual Studio. So you could hover over it and see what.
That's it.
Yeah. There you go. So you see, we're hovering over them, and then we get the information through.
It looks like it.
Okay. Another cool thing is, you guys see this thing over here? You could go over here, right? You could bring this up, and you see this cool window down here that says locals. This tells you what the value of pretty much everything in this area is at the moment. Isn't that cool? That is very, very cool. So instead of hovering through all these things, you can see it all at once. It tells you their types as well. So it's pretty handy. This is called the locals window. Very nice, very nice. Little by little, little by little. Okay. So we're here. We created, we created a character here. Well, we're not creating anything. We're returning the view, which we call display character, correct? And this is going to display our characters. Here's an HTML page. So I'm going to hit continue. And then there we go. We have gone to the HTML. And, well, why is this blank? Anybody know? Well, yeah, speak up. Yeah, speak up. Sorry, I was eating some Boston Market. But yeah, I did not pass the information through. The information is just here, but nothing happened to it. Are you guys good with that?
Okay.
Well, before we were passing it using what?
A class.
Well, no. Well, then yes, yeah. But we were using it. We were passing it using the view bag.
Oh, the view bag.
Yes. So that it's kind of important. So that is kind of one way to pass information from here to there. Another way that we can pass information. Okay, so I want you guys to. Are you guys ready? Are you guys? Because we're about to enter the next phase of kind of the new stuff and the most important thing that we're gonna do here in this course, which is we're gonna be dealing with models. Remember that we spoke about MVC, which stands for model, viewer, and controller, correct?
Yeah.
And so far, really, what have we talked about? Pretty much, you guys. What do you think?
Do it on the controller.
Yeah, I mean, pretty much we've mostly talked about the controller. We understand the controller, right? And we understand the view, right? But we don't know a lot about the model yet. I mean, do you guys agree on that?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, we don't really know a lot. So we will try to go into that at least to some degree today. Okay, so now, give me 1 second. I'm gonna cheat for. Uh, oh, oops. I'm gonna cheat for a second here. So, do you guys need to sort of refresh your face, drink coffee? You guys are good, ready to do the do?
Ready.
Okay, just making sure. Let me load this. And oh, let me show you. You want to? Yeah, I need a minute for prep. But in the meantime, you guys want to see something cool?
Sure.
Okay, this is called Eclipse. Guess what Eclipse is? Eclipse is. Do you know how we use Visual Studio to mess around with C Sharp?
Yes.
This is the same thing. Well, something similar, but for Java. Yeah, this is the Java Visual Studio of sorts. Pretty crazy, right? It's kind of similar, but not really. These are Java classes and whatnot, but they're pretty cool. Actually, yeah, they are. But yeah, you see, this is just an environment to work with Java. It's just
Yeah.
different.
Looks like a lot of different compilers.
Yeah, but the overall thing is kind of similar. But anyway, let me just give you guys a quickie here, and then we will move on. Hold on. I just need to check something before. No. Click status. Yeah, there it is. All right, that's fine. Okay, let's go back to hours. All right, so let me ask you a question. So currently, if I wanted to get, well, I mean, let's start from scratch. Really, we have some information here, correct? And we want to display that information in the display character page. That is kind of what we're trying to do. For now, let's not even create the character. Let's just display some information that we got from the form, the create form, in this view here. Actually, not this way. This one here. So how have we done that so far? How are we able to do that so far? Do you guys remember? Look at your notes. Sneaky, sneaky. You guys don't remember? Remember, it is view. View what? Is the view bag. This is one of the mechanisms to pass information from the controller, from an action, to a view. So you guys sort of remember that, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
So name equals name, etc., etc. And in the display character, do you see that we say this is the add means I'm accessing code or C# variables and view bag name. Let's do that. Let's do that. All right, so let's do it so you guys know the flow and know because what we're gonna do today and go through it's kind of important. So it's important that we do it correctly and with time. It's low. All right, age equals age. So now what exactly is this accomplishing? Like, we get here, what is this doing? And this. Do you guys know? Go ahead,
It's
Dave.
taking the name, the job, and the age from what was submitted in that form.
Yeah,
Pass it to return display character HTML page.
that's right. That's right. Yeah. So to be more accurate, yeah, you're correct. It's putting this in the view bag, right? And then in the display character, we also have access to the view bag. So therefore, we can reach in there and say, hey, you have anything in there called name? Let me see what's inside. So yeah, so you are correct. All right. Let's run it and see if it works. Dan, are you good with that?
Yeah.
Okay, sweet, sweet. Okay, again, it's important that we hammer this, we go over it, and we make it part of ourselves. It has to be second nature. Okay, so Bilbido Bard 111. So when I do it, let's see, I'm putting it in there. I'm gonna continue on to my view, and there we go. Pretty nice, very, very nice. Okay, so now let's think about, or let's move on to the concept of what a model is. Okay. Give me 1 second. Well, in short, think of a model as a container for information. Repeat it. Repeat it. What is it?
Model is a container for information.
Yeah, it's a class. It's a class that is sort of a container for information. And what do you do with containers? What anyone know?
You put stuff in.
Oh, exactly. I know it sounds silly. Oh, Vin, oh, yes, it does sound silly. Let me see if, yeah, it does sound silly, but you never know. And what else can you do with it?
Take stuff out.
Exactly, and spin it all around. That is right. Okay.
Think of lots of crazy things for containers, but that's probably not relevant.
Well, yeah, there's a lot. You know, cut a hole in the box. That's right. That's the first step, like I said last time. But but yes. So again, all it is, it's what? It's a container. Don't get again. Keep repeating it. It's simple. It's a container. Okay. Now, let me try to do some here. Let's see. Uh, mm, let's see. Pay no mind to what I'm doing here. Just pretend that I'm not doing anything, right? Not yet. Not yet. Mm-hmm. All right.
Just magical words. That's all.
Exactly. They're just magic. Just magic. Let's see. Oh, I'm just checking something here. Character name. Yeah. Let's see if this works. Okay. Again, just follow along. Follow your nose. Just like Toucan Sam. Okay. I'm just gonna go here. Just don't mind me. It might crash or it might not. Let me know if you see or notice anything here. We'll see if this works. It might not. But if it does, it'll be cool. And if it doesn't, I'll just pretend I know what I'm doing and then just move on or something. You know. Okay, so let's see. Game create character. All right. This time it just sees it. All right, I'm gonna hit. Was that?
No, you do your thing. I'm sorry.
Yeah. I'm about to hit create character. So let's see what happens. Oh. No, don't worry. There's a kind of a different one here. Oh crap! This is a different way of passing it. So this is a different one. Hold on. Object model. Yeah, that's correct. Oh, what is that sound?
Somebody got some feedback?
I think so, yeah. This is 6, you name object model. Oh, no, it's a freaking string. Master name. Give me 1 second because I'm trying to make it simple, but at the same time, I'm making it not simple because of the way this function works. So, give me a second.
It's amazing how quickly stuff gets complicated on your end here.
Oh, yeah. Exactly. That's why I'm always taking step by step. Just because it's about to get complicated. So I might just go straight to the normal. It's not even complicated. It's just the normal way of doing it. But I'm trying to, let's see. I might just use the normal version, the normal way. Okay, perfect. Okay, yes. Okay, there you go. So I'm back to know what I'm doing. Okay, so guys, remember the concept. What was I talking about? The concept of a model. Okay, so a model, all it is just a container that holds information. And also, since it's the model, it's supposed to represent something. And what kind of things have we dealt with that look or sound like models? Well, classes, right? I mean, do you guys remember when we made a class of a model? I mean, the class of a person?
It was a box.
Yeah, pretty much, yes. So, the class of a person, again, a class is something that represents an idea or an object. And we created a class for a person. So when we create an instance of a class and we create a memory, that's cool, it's an instance, right? But again, we can use that instance that instance or the class it's a model for what? A person. What kind of, it's for a person, but what kind of information does a person have? Do you guys remember?
Name.
Yes, yeah. So I'm kind of saying it backwards here. Yeah. So yeah, what I'm saying is that a model, it's the same thing as a class. It's just a container that has information, holds information that pertains to that class or that model. So a lot of the time we're going to be using the word model and class interchangeably. Again, and don't get confused or anything. You'll get the hang. So now I'm going to show you something. Okay, you guys ready? This is going to be cool. Don't get lost here because this is where the cool stuff starts, and this is where the kind of the harder stuff starts as well. Okay, do you guys remember we have this web page here? It's called display character, and we're gonna do something really cool with this page. Okay, we're going to tie up or associate this page with a type of model. The reason you want to do that is that once you pass, well, the reason you want to do that is that if you make this page accept something of a kind of model, then you can just pass it to the view, and then inside the view you can display that information. And not only can you display it, you can change it. You'll see it's a little bit tricksy, but you'll see what it means. So, well, let's keep it simple for now. So again, this is one of the ways that you can get information from the controller or an action to a web page or to anything, any kind of UI element. Okay, so I know this concept is a little bit weird, so but you know we'll get there. We'll get there. I just need you to stick in there, and we'll figure it out. Okay, so now, do you guys see this keyword here at model?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so I said, hey, what this says is, hey man, this web page is going to use a model. So I'm going to pass something to this web page. And we're keeping it very simple here. So what kind of model or what kind of information am I going to pass to it?
I'm going to pass in the name, job, and age.
Well, no.
Oh, you mean the string?
Yep.
Right.
Yeah, no, we're keeping it simple. Keeping it simple. We're keeping it simple for now. Okay. The thing is that you can only pass something of one type to a page. So we'll get there. Oh yeah. So now, what am I passing to this page? What type? What is the model going to be? What kind of class? What kind of information?
String.
Yeah, it's a string, right? So that's why in here I just said, hey, I'm making up some kind of string. I'm putting bilbido in it, right? And I am passing it to the view. Do you guys see here? Okay. This means, hey man, return this view here, and since it's strongly typed, the view is strongly typed, which means it's expecting something of a certain type, pass it this. So then, once we're there, once we're in the actual view here, then you can refer from now on, once you're in the view, you can refer to it as at model. So this is this represents the model that you passed it. So at model is going to have all the information that you passed it. I know it's a little bit weird. How are you guys so far? You guys getting the hang of this so far? I mean, with the string? It's a very simple.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, with the string, it's not like that exciting or anything because it's just a string. But you guys get the idea that this view, I can pass it something of a certain type, some kind of container. So what kind of container? So basically this says, hey, you're going to pass something in a container of what type? Of string type, correct? Okay, and that container, we're going to call it, and we're going to put stuff in it or take stuff out of it. Well, just take stuff out of it because this is a view for now. And we're going to call it, access it using add model. Okay. And does that make sense? Are you guys with this? Because I'm about to step it up a little bit. Okay. Dave, are you jiggy?
Yes.
Okay. So, let's step up to the next step here. So we're good with this here. Eclipse. I'm gonna take away this. You guys remember view bag, right? Write it down. Don't forget about your view bag. All right. So remember, I said that you can only pass something of one type or one container. I mean, a container can have a container of within a container, but it has to be one container first. Don't get confused by that. Don't worry.
Interesting. Okay.
Yes, yes. So for now, we're good. So, so we're good here. Character name. So we don't need this for now. Let's go back. This is the goods here. We're good here. So what are we dealing with here? Remember, what was the original intent of this?
We're building up our character stats for a page. We want to put all of our characters together on.
Yeah. So currently, we just want to display a character that we create using the information we get from the form. So I'm going to help you out here. And do you guys remember the class person?
Yeah.
Okay, so I implemented it. And you guys remember what this looks like, right? I mean, don't get scared. Don't pay attention to these things here. They just, The important thing is, do you remember class person, and that class has name, job, age, rate. I added a few, by the way. Hey, you guys like that? I added level, weapon, spell, and ID. Yeah, so you guys with it, right?
So far.
Yeah, so I don't want you to get confused though. This class is exactly the same as this class currently. Well, except it has no methods. All it has is just a bunch of these things here. Properties. Is that cool? All right. Yeah. Yeah. So far so good over here, right? Okay, great. All right. So how do I create? So again, the task was get the information, create a person with this information, and then display that in the display character. Okay, so now remember, sound it out. What do we need to do now? What do we need to do first? Well, should I write it down because I think I'm just.
Are we backtracking? We're just gonna.
Well, we're kind of backtracking to the point where we were originally supposed to be. So now the next steps we need to take is get info, which we get over there, right? Use info from form. Then create a person or person or character. Then pass it to the view, pass it to the display page and display it. Remember, you got to break things down in steps. So read it with me. So get info, use info from the form. So when we're here, we have that info in here, correct?
When we get it through the form.
Yeah. Assume that the form has been submitted and we are here. And we already have that information that they submitted in these variables. Oh, yeah. So, what is the next step? Let's see. Okay, so what is it? Speak up. Let's do this. Do. Well, we can read it. I mean, what? Yeah, go ahead.
I'm sorry, I'm trying to put things together. We
Yeah.
want to do the view bag for name.
A view bag? No, no, no. Well, you guys are not reading. Like, well, what is the next thing here? So these are the steps. I broke it down for you here. So what is the first thing?
To get the info.
Okay, so did we do that? We did, right? Where is the info?
It's in the forms that have been submitted.
Exactly. And that info, where does it submit to? Which action? It's where we are now, right? And that gets mapped into here and job and age. So in effect, once we're here, we have that information. Are you guys good with that?
Yeah.
Okay, good, good. Sorry, I know this is gonna be a bit rough because this is this concept's a little bit tricky, but we'll get there. We'll get there. Okay, so one satisfied, right? So we have that. Okay. Bam. Okay, so what is the next one? What do we need?
We have to actually create the person.
Okay, so let's create the person. Let's do it.
Or
How do we do that? Create it using the class that we have. You guys remember? Person. Let's see. Equals new person. All right. So there, I know I'll help you out here. I will help you out. So this is, so now we're instantiating or, creating an instance of the person class. So how do we put, remember, we want to put the name, job, and age into our class, into our object, into our person object. So how do I do that? Do you guys remember?
With a dot.
That's right. Person dot
Name.
name equals what?
Name.
That's right. And then person, I hear you. Job equals job.
Yeah.
And then person dot age equals age. So now, okay, this is legit here. This is legit. So, to you, what does person look like in memory and in your head? Describe it to me. What is it? Go ahead. Well, first of all, what's person? You guys remember? Well, I mean, sound it out. Person. Yeah, yeah.
created.
Exactly, yeah. Person, it's a type person. And person is something of the class that we created. And this is an instance of the person. So when we create that, when we do that, remember, in memory, we're basically saying, hey, let's see, what is it? Shapes? Yeah, in memory, we're saying, hey, man, this right here. So this is person. Let me see. So this is the class person, the instance of the class person, and what's inside?
The name, job, and age.
Exactly, yeah. So you got name, got job, and got age. Pretty sweet here. Let's see. All practice, baby, all practice. And currently, so again, this is a container here. This is a class. This is a model. And we're using the handle person. So that's what we say person dot. We're accessing, hey, person, and if we want name, we do dot name dot job dot age to access, um, whatever's inside them in memory. Okay. Now, but yeah, the concept here is that it's a class and it's a container. It's a space in memory that it's a box. All it is just a box. It's a container. Okay. And this has all this all the information. Let's say, for example, Bill Bideau, right? I say Bill Bideau and Bart and age 111. So let's say that here in the form I passed the name Bill Bideau with the job Bart and the age 11, and then in here I create that object and I pass it here. I mean, not pass it, I put it inside, I put that information inside. And so now I have this cool object with information inside. Isn't that cool? So I have an object, a model with information inside, which is pretty sweet, right? Now, let me ask you a question. Now, this is pop quiz, hot shots. Okay, you guys ready?
Yeah.
So, what have we learned here? Because now, remember, well, number 2. Let's go back. So, create a person and character and put stuff in it. Put information in it. Did we do that?
Yeah, we have name, job, and age.
Exactly.
Person box.
Okay, there you go. So we box them. We put that information in the box. Okay. So now, pass it to the display page. Now again, this is the real deal. This is the money. This is the money shot right here. This is where it's at. Okay. Now, what did we talk about earlier? What did we say about views and what they can do and what we can pass to them? You guys remember?
I'm sorry, can you please repeat that?
Yeah, sure. What were we talking about earlier about views and what we can pass to them and how we can use views? Do you guys remember? It had to do with models. Go ahead.
I'm not really sure what you're asking for. We are intending to pass a string to the model.
Well, before, yes, we were passing a string. Well, something exactly, but now we don't want to pass a string to the model. What do we want to pass to the model?
A person?
That's right. We want to pass something of person type or a person, pretty much. So, I know this jump, it's a little bit weird, but we will get there, my friends. We will get there. Don't you worry. Give me 1 second here. What is the name of the main space? All right. Don't be fooled by this. Don't get confused by this. Don't you worry. Okay. Okay. All I'm doing here is just, hey man, what type do you want to pass to, what kind of container do you want to pass to this model? So I can display information of that kind, or I could interact with information of that kind. Okay, so what kind of model we're passing to it? Well, we'll be passing to it. Well, it's person. Yeah, exactly. Don't get confused by this. All this is telling where can I find the definition of person. That's all it is. I could just actually just remove this by giving it some other namespace or something. Yeah. But for now, it's okay. Just leave it here. All right.
Well, it's probably not important now, but we can have more than one controller.
Oh, we could have tons of controllers.
Okay. For some reason, I was under the impression you couldn't have more than one.
Oh gods, no. No. You cannot have in here. Cannot have more than one model. Only one model.
Okay.
Yeah. Don't let this throw you off because all it is just telling you, hey, what type do you want to what kind of container do you want this view, or what kind of model do you want this view to be associated with? That's all. Yep. This thing here, that just where I created the type, the class. So all this is just kind of a location. That's all. They're called namespaces. We'll go over that later. But no, I mean you could have tons of like you guys want to see controllers? What? Which is? Which is?
Do we?
See, I don't know. Do you guys see?
That's crazy.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Wow.
And look at that.
Ah, jeez.
Oh yeah, they get.
Crow.
Oh yeah. Well, it's not bad. I mean, you build them slow over time, and a lot of them don't have a lot of code. Some of them do though. But yeah, it all depends how you could have just one controller that takes care of everything pretty much, or you could just chop off by different areas. It all depends how you decide to do it. But don't let that confuse you. Don't let it throw you off. Okay, so again, so read to me what this says, and in your own words, explain to me why we're doing this. What does this mean here? Go ahead.
We're gonna look for the person class
Mhm.
for in our controller for our suite game. Any controller.
Oh no, well no, this, well, yeah, but the main thing is like that. You see that it's just the end, just the person.
Right.
This just says that, hey, the model associated with this view is of type person. Yeah. What comes before it, you could sort of ignore because that's just where this class is located.
Understood.
Yeah. I don't want you guys to get confused by this. Um, but the important thing is this the actual class or model. So so we're good with this here, right? Okay. So now since it's accepting or it's expecting something of the type person, right? So how can we pass it something of type person here? What do we need to do? What do you think? View it's a function, and you see where it says, let's see, you see where it says +7 overloads? And you see,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
okay, so let me show you something about, you guys remember functions, right? Functions require arguments sometimes, right?
Yeah.
And certain functions can take one, two, three, or different amounts of arguments. They're cool like that. So this one, the first argument, or just one, if you put it with one argument, is the view that you want to display, correct? Yes. Then if you do a comma, it would tell you sometimes. Do you see? It helps you out. So in this case, you could give it what? You could pass it a model. Do you guys see
Okay.
it?
Object model. Yeah.
Yeah. The object, remember, is the base class for everything. So everything is an object in a way. Or not. Yep. Well, it is. It is. So in this case, what model do I want to pass it? Or what container or what class do I want to pass it?
Person.
Exactly. So the instance of our person is, we called it person, right? Okay, sweet, little sweet. Let's see. I like that commercial. I like the little sweet commercial a lot. Okay, so so we
I
have
don't
here.
watch a lot of TV.
No, I
Yeah,
hear you.
here. Sorry.
It's a good one. It's a good commercial. No, I don't. I watch a lot of anime. Crunchyroll. Let's see. So here. So again, we put all this information into this container, this model, or this class, correct? And right now we have something in memory that has all this information. We put it in there. And we're passing this to the view, so the view can do stuff with it, mostly display it. So let's go to the view. So now we know that when we hear whatever passes to us here is going to be a person. So we're going to be messing around with a person. So now, since this view is smart enough and it knows that we're dealing with a person, you could do some really cool stuff. So now, do you guys remember what name are we dealing with now? How do you access the model for this particular view? Remember, the keyword is model. So, and then watch this. You guys ready to see magic? Watch. Since I'm using a person model, a person class, then I have access to all the same things, same thing as a person does. So I can manipulate, actually, you see I said model.name. That is going to be the name that is passed through inside that model. Job. Also, are you guys okay with the new person class that I created? It's the same thing, except I added more things like race, does it have any spells or weapons or or level? But it is basically, in essence, it is the same class.
It's what we had before. There's just a few more line items.
Yeah,
Yeah.
pretty much.
We'll eventually want those anyway.
Yeah, I think so. We'll make it bigger. We do have technology. Let's see. So here. So, I mean, we got models. Okay, so again, we're accessing that container that we passed, that model, and we're messing around with that model here. Do you guys see that? Pretty nice right here. Okay.
It's very similar to what we were doing with the view bag.
Yeah, it is kind of the same. Well, it's similar, yeah. Except instead of the view bag is sort of a separate, what do you call that? A separate model in a way that is behind the scenes, sort of, that you could put pretty much anything into. But you don't want to use that because it's kind of a pain. And there are certain things that it has limitations. But yeah, so pretty much, so this time we're using this class, this view, and it's using of something of model. A person model. Okay. So it's pretty nice. So again, say it with me, sound it out, follow the flow. What kind of model does this page deal with or manipulate or touches?
A person?
Yes. So what kind? So you're passing or is manipulating a person container or a person model. Sweet. And we're creating one here and we're passing it into it. Let's see. So now, let's run it. Do you guys think this is going to work? Because we don't even know if it's going to work. Let's see. I hope it does. And let's enter new data, just in case. I really should create a link there. But let's see, create character. All right. Well, let's just use the second bar, 202. Okay, so when I create this, let's see if it works. Boom! Look at that.
Yay.
Pretty nice, pretty nice. And again, this just happened with a cool person, right? And it's pretty nice. It's very, very nice. Now, I mean, this works, right? I mean, it does its job. It designed what we did. It is what we did. But I mean, I think this doesn't do much. It's just create a character and display a character, and that's good. I mean, we need to do more. But well, so far so good though. I mean, how do you feel about this? Do you guys understand this to an extent?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm following it. I'll have to review it, but yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. How about you, Dave? You are you digging?
Yes.
Sweet.
Yep.
Okay, we're about to get more interesting, so I hope you guys get this. Oh yeah. Okay, so now this is gonna be interesting. Get ready for the interest here. Okay, so now um, that we accomplish all the steps of our task.
Well, so far we only have
That's
one
display
person.
page, yes.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And display it, yes.
Well, if we're here, yeah, bam and bam. So in this particular task, we have. So now let's do something legit now. Um, let's see. Because I want to introduce something else, but not yet. Not yet. Um. Okay. I got this model name here, and let me ask you a question. If I try passing something of type string here, what's gonna happen? Well, it's gonna crash, right?
That's my best guess. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Because what's expecting? What are you supposed to pass it? What kind of stuff is it expecting?
A person.
Yeah. And if you pass anything other than a person, it's gonna crash. So that's important because that's what this works with. Okay. So the next task that I want us to do is this. Let's write it out, shall we? Okay, next task. All right. Okay, well, how do we get to the next page? There we go. All right. So, well, let's think about it, sound it out, write it out, and then break it up by steps. Let's create a roster page that displays everybody that we create. So if we create a new character, well, first of all, okay, the base case is roster page. Remember, sound it out, roster page. And the roster page displays roster. And what is the roster? Pretty much. I mean, it's just list of what? Of members or characters, right? List of characters, persons. Okay. So let's say that we want to add a character and we want that list to be updated whenever we add a new character, right? Well, so again, add character. Add character here. Okay. Add character to roster. Display updated roster. I'm kind of cheating here, but it's okay. It is okay. And this is kind of up to us here, so let's see how we feel about this. This is what. Okay. Well, so do we have a roster page, first of all?
I don't think we created one.
No.
Do we have a display character page?
Yeah, but that just displays one character. We could turn that into the roster page. Do you guys want to do that? Perhaps. We could.
If we're gonna have like separate, like a login or whatever, then it would be good to keep that character page. But otherwise, I think a roster would be great.
Okay, so do you guys want to create? Let's create a roster page. Is that what you guys want? Sweet, little sweet. Okay. So how do I create a roster page? Anyone know?
You want to add a new view?
There you
Or we
go.
can copy the display character page.
Yep, yep. Let's see. You guys want to copy this? Okay. That's how we do it, man. That's how we do. And let's call this roster. Okay, remember, keep sounding out or in your mind kind of mapping what we need to do, because there might be a time where you come to a time or a place that you're stuck, or you don't know how to do it in code, or you don't know we're missing something, and that is cool, because that will happen and that is okay. But as long as you sound it out, then you keep sounding out and you could describe what is missing or what the problem is. Do you know what I mean? All right, good.
Yeah.
Yep. So we have a roster page here. So what are we missing? We have the roster HTML, but how do we go to a roster page? What do we need?
We need to add it in the controller.
That's right.
Again, we can probably copy paste the.
Oh, I am. Blip.
On all STP on us.
Is it? Sorry, what?
Sorry, song.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it's some metal song. I think I forget. Okay, so roster. So every page or most pages need two things, right? Boom, they need an action that guides to it, right? That traffics or routes to it, and that we have that, correct? And then we have, if we're doing some kind of UI, we have a view that is related to that page. So when we hit that action, we go to that page. And we have that, correct? We have roster HTML. But let's see. Well, currently, roster is a copy of display character. Let's just let's from scratch, my friends. So I'm going to run it. Let's see what happens.
Oh dear.
No, I think we should be okay. Well, do we have an action called roster?
I guess it's just sitting there.
Well, no, let's see. Let's see. Create character. Create character is good, right? So what happens? Run through the flow if I go to roster. If I hit this, I'm gonna go to it, right?
Yeah, it's got nothing in there.
Nothing, exactly, yeah. But remember, before I got here, where did it go? When I pressed enter here, it went to the game.
Or game controller.
Game controller. Roster action. Roster action. Found the view. Went to the view called roster, and it's empty. And that's okay, because that's what we want. That's the way it is now. Okay. So that's pretty cool, right? So
Keep drilling me on those actions. I'll get it.
no, yeah, no, it's important. No, it's very important. Yeah, because that's why I'm always saying, like, just go through the flow. Just go through the flow. You have to sound it out. You have to think about it, sound it out, keep repeating it because it has to become second nature of how things flow. Okay. Hmm. And so we're here. We're on the roster page. So what kind of stuff do we have in the roster page here? Well, each one roster of the greatest, what is it? Adventuring party in the world. Ever. There you go.
Some Heroes of the Lance over here.
Yeah. We're better. Like tennis. Get some tennis half elven. Get some Tasselhoffs too in here. Actually, we could just do it here. Okay, so here we have here, right? So we have a roster here, and so now it's probably a good time to introduce something else, something
Is this where we use that model, the person model, and make multiple people with it?
kind of, yes. But again, we're creating one at a time. Do you guys see that, right?
Yeah.
So we're not really. Well, let me ask you a question. I want you to think about this for a minute or two, right? And tell me if we can do or if we're missing anything of what might be missing or everything is okay based on the pages that we have and the technology that we know and that we have so far. Um, can we create a roster and can we create characters, more than one character, and display it on this page? I will give you 2 minutes and think about it. Is that cool? All right.
It's cool. I can give my
Right.
answer probably now, but
All right. Well, write it down. Write it down. Get me more answers. I like answers. Maybe I'll stop at a minute. We'll see. How you doing, Dave? How you doing?
Let's see. What's the greatest invention world ever?
Let's see. Mm. Mm. All right, you got 20 seconds. I'll give you 10 more seconds. Mm.
that's tricky, man. Okay.
What? All right, so I'm back. I'm back. Okay, so um, okay. Let's see who wants to go first. What you got for me, Dan? What's up? What you got?
I feel like I've gotten the answer, but
Well, tell me one thing. Well, let's let Dave. Dave, what you got for me?
Still typing.
Okay. All right. Oh, you guys are typing. Look at that. Where are you typing? Oh, in here?
Notepad.
Oh, nice, nice.
Oh,
Oh, you get them fancy. Getting all
What?
fancy. That's good. That's good.
Still fancy.
Okay. But yeah, I mean, just let me know. So what I asked was to, in your head, see if we're able, if we have all the tools available currently, to do this, to get a roster of people and display them and create them. Hmm.
so we haven't explored it today, but in previous versions we used the count property for our, in this case it would be our model, and we can use that to get multiple entries in a list. We can put the people into a list
That's right,
and then
man.
recall that list when
Ooh-wee.
we're doing the view.
My goodness, that's right.
I had to look the answer up. I'm not gonna lie, but
No, that is.
that's it was a little tricky.
You guys are totally wrong, but that is okay. I forgive you guys. You
Oh.
guys are totally wrong, but no, I'm kidding. You guys are 50% right, and that is really good because I was counting on you being 20% right. So you guys deserve a fist bump. You guys definitely. I'm gonna give you guys a fist bump right here. Oh, you guys felt that? I'm not gonna. I'm not always gonna be giving fist bumps. They're rare. They're valuable. Okay. So I am giving you guys a fist bump. So exactly. So there are ways. So you're both correct. So the way. So this. Yeah. You guys. You guys got the part that you know that you've done. Excuse me. That you've done so far is correct. You're totally correct. So yeah. So you could either use some kind of loop, right? Or just have something like if you pass an array, then have something like person one and person two and then person three. Or so either yeah, so just do a loop that does it for everything in the collection, right? Or if you have an array, just do well another loop that just does it for each. But in this one, you use an index or something like person one. But yeah, I mean, you guys understand that in a way. Um, I mean, Dave, you do understand that you could use a loop for this of some sort, correct?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Good. Good. So you guys got. So this is good. This is very, very good. I mean, there's still one part missing, which again you're not supposed to know, or because we haven't done it before. But this is amazing. This is definitely amazing. So I am going to sort of cheat here, and well, not cheat. This is you guys are good. You guys are very good. Man, you guys are extremely good. Now, so the model that we're going to pass here, I mean, Dan sort of already gave the answer, I think. Don't get confused by the wording here. Remember, what we're trying to um, establish here is just, you know, what type it is. So exactly, so this model, this page, the model, what's it going to be? It's going to be a list of people. So we're going to be building a list of people out here somewhere, and then passing it into the view and displaying it. Now I'm about to throw you off. Are you guys ready?
I'm listening.
Okay. So let's say that I decide to do some kind of for loop, right? You guys remember this bad boy here? Pretty nice. So now, because this is some advanced shit right here, actually. So model. So what does model represent and what does item represent?
Item is an item, yeah, a property of the person.
No.
No? Okay.
You're close though. You did not yet, but no, no, no. Because remember, what is a model?
It's a class.
Well, in this case, what is it
It's a
representing?
person.
No, it's a list. Remember, it's a list.
Oh crap.
That's right, because remember, we're passing a whole list, not
Damn it.
one person. No, I feel you. Yeah, this is good. This is good. Yeah, this is very good. It's getting complicated. But let me give you let me make it easy for you. Normally we don't do this. This is kind of advanced stuff. Normally it's just going to be person. Um, the system it's smart enough to know that if you pass it a list, it will do it for each or something. But no, this is good. This is good. But you guys understand now that this model represents a list of persons, correct?
Mm-hmm.
So what's item? What does item represent?
Where we are in our list of people.
And it represents a what?
The person?
Yes. Remember, all this is this is one of this type of item, right? And basically, whatever you do to this dude, you're doing it to pretty much everything in that type, in that collection. Another another way of saying this is right is for each person in model. You could name this whatever actually. That's what it really saying. It's saying for each person in model, which is a list of people, a list of persons, right? Do this. So I could say person dot name and things like that. Isn't that cool?
Yeah.
So this is just a variable name. This is just var. It could be any type really. Most of the time it's just say item, but you could, as a programmer, you should make things easier to read and for yourself, and for it makes sense. So basically, let's change this to person. Person dot name. So again, this has access to. This represents one and all of a type in this collection. In this case, it's just one person. So if I have this, then let's get jiggy with it, right? So let's say for each one, let's create a table for each person. How about that? Let's get crazy with it. Table. Because I know you guys are super awesome and you guys know what a table is, and you guys been brushing up and studying your, of course, your HTML, right? Right? Then you guys know what a table is.
Table.
Yes. A table is just a way to display and order information on HTML that makes it look cool or in order in a way. Okay. And so this is a row for each table and this is a cell. So the first cell is going to, well, let me just, this is a row, let me make it easier that way we don't get confused. All right, so name, and this is just, and basically, so it's going to be a table with the left row, the left column saying name, and the right one with the actual name. So how do I access the name? Person.name. All right. So then we have another row. Actually, am I complicating by doing a table? Because
No.
no, you guys good with this? Because I don't wanna lose you guys because you guys
Yeah,
understand.
this is fine for me.
Okay. Job, and then what goes here?
Job.
You're gonna put the oh, you want
Person
job.
dot
Yeah,
job.
the job exactly, and age. And you put age here. Okay, so for each person in here, right, in this collection, is going to create a table and is going to spit out a table with the name, their job, and their age. Pretty sweet, right? So this is legit. This is nice. So I like this because you guys understand this part standalone works and is nice. I can give this to anybody, or I could just tell anybody, hey, this is gonna do what I wanted to do, which is display a list of people, and it's gonna display this information, and it's going to work 100% of the time, as long as you pass it and you give it a list of persons as a model. As long as you do that, it will work. Doesn't matter. Do you know what I mean? Do you know what I'm trying to say here? So,
You're saying the code is idiot proof?
well, sort of. It's it's type proof in a way. Also, let's say you and I and Dave are working on this project, right? One of the pitfalls of ASP, non-NVC, just normal ASP, is that have you guys noticed that when we deal with code like most C sharp in the controller? Like most of the heavy stuff, the heavy lifting and things like that, we most of the logic and things like that we do in the controller.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Like most of the sneaky things we do in the controller. Like we create classes, we do stuff to classes, populate them. Most of that stuff happens in the back end in the controller. And then we have the front end, the HTML page, um, which it's kind of a separate entity. So I can tell you, for example, hey Dave, hey Dan, let's work on this project. I want you to create a page that takes a list of persons or characters or monsters, and I want this page to display this information in this way or whatever, right? Or whatever way you want to. You do not need anything from me anymore. It will be my job and my responsibility to fill that list with monsters or people or do whatever it is and manipulate it and get it in there. However it is, you don't have to worry about that, correct? But it will be your job to display it. So do you see how we have separation of concerns here? You guys
Yeah.
can do your job without needing me. Like I just tell you, yeah, just go home, dude. Do this view and whatever, and then you don't need to interact with me for the rest of the day, or you could leave the country or anything, and do whatever you want. And as long as you know the type that you're dealing with, or the information that I'm passing you, then that's all you need to know, and you can do your job, and I can do mine. Um, that what I'm saying this way, it's important. Before you were not able to do that in all ASP. Both the logic and the UI, the HTML, was combined into sort of one file, which, as you can imagine, it can be kind of very messy. Um, you can sort of do the same thing in C sharp, but it's not the best way, and it's not something we do or we will do, and it's kind of frowned upon. But this, to do it like this in a clean way, to be able to do it like this in a clean way and separate the concerns and the jobs, it's very important. And again, you can see how this is again the view, right? Which is totally separate from the controller and the logic and the model stuff, right? That's why it's called NVC. It's model. Model gets all the information and deals with information in containers and whatnot. And the controller is the controller which guides the model and the routing. And the view should hopefully, mostly, maybe, in a perfect world, yes, but not really, just display stuff. Yes, so are you guys good with that? You understand? Of course.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, you guys with it. You guys with it. Sweet. Yeah, we went off on a tangent there. My bad. So we understand that this is not.
Man.
Oh no, no, this is good. This is dev stuff, programming stuff. This is important. So I'm very happy that we got to this roster page. This is very good because now all it needs is just, as long as I pass it a list of persons, then it's gonna get displayed. We're good because we have a loop that processes them and spits them out. So now this is the tricksy part, which is kind of where I may stump you here. For now, though, let's cheat, okay? Are you guys ready to cheat? All right. Let's pretend we're not getting the information for now from the user. We're not creating characters in the form, okay? For now, let's just create our own characters and our own list of characters and pass it to the roster page to see if it works. Is that okay with you guys? Okay, cool. So for now, let's create the list of persons, and let's just call it roster and little roster equals new. Okay, and let's so now I have the list. So let's create people to put in there. We have that code somewhere, I think. Let's see if we could find that somewhere to save ourselves some. Well, do you guys want to copy paste it? Do you know what we're doing here? Maybe we sort of do, right? I think it's from the other. I think it's in the other. Damn it. Yeah, I don't have that code here. It's in the other project. But anyway, let's just type it out. Okay, so let's do it. Okay, so person. Okay, so let's create Dave. You ready, Dave? And you're gonna be a new person. All right. And let's give your name. Well, what's your name? Equals Dave. Yeah, Dave. I'm getting lazy here. My bad. I should just get the other one and just copy stuff over there. But anyway, okay, Dave dot job. Okay, what's your job, Dave? You want to be a cleric? Knight. All right. Knight. And Dave dot age equals 111. Okay. Pretty cool. And I guess I'll just copy paste because I'm lazy. I mean, there's an easier way to do this, but let's just follow the convention. Let me just follow this. I want you guys to learn at least one. Okay, so what's your job, Warlock? I think so.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. Okay. And then let's do the same for me. Okay. Okay, how are you guys' minds? You guys are good? Okay, I know we're hitting you hard today, but hang in there. We're good. This is the good stuff. This is the good stuff. So I have three persons, and I have a list called roster. Have I put anything in roster yet? The roster currently is empty, I think, correct? We haven't put anything inside
We
it.
defined the people. No, we didn't.
Exactly. We defined the people, but we haven't put it inside roster. So, I mean, we could just put it in there. We could just say roster dot add, and then let's say add Dave. Okay, roster dot add Dan. Roster dot add me. Okay. So we started what we get this so far here, right? Okay, so now we have roster. Roster is a collection, a list of persons. And we have a view called roster, which expects a list of persons. So in order for me, since it's expecting a list of type persons, then I'm just going to give it to it, just like X. X is going to give it to you, and we are going to give this list to the roster page because that is what it's expecting. It's just a list of persons. You could tell what it's trying to deal with because it's blue. Those are the classes that it's dealing with. Okay, so are you guys ready to test this?
Yep.
Yeah.
Let's do it. Let's do it. Mm-mm-mm. Okay, so now if I go to game and then roster. Okay, we're ready. I'm about to hit it. Here we go. Boom!
Wait,
Look at that.
something didn't work.
I know, but this is great.
Caesar is classified.
Okay, well, let's
No,
see.
I'm sorry. That's Dave.
Let's see. Let's check it out. Well, Caesar. Did Caesar work?
Caesar went in.
Okay, Caesar went in and Caesar was displayed. Okay, did Dan work and was Dan displayed?
Yeah.
It was. Okay, so the third one, it was not. So let's see. So this, well, let's see. Oh, okay. See, that is called laziness, my friend. That is called laziness. That's why you have to be very careful with copying and pasting. Later on, I will tell you guys a great story about that. How copy and pasting cost us thousands of dollars. Oh, yeah. But you guys understand what the problem was there, right?
Yeah.
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 Basically overridden.
Yep. Let's put them in the wrong place. Okay, so here. Let's see. Boom! Look at that.
Yay.
That is a beautiful thing. And that is nice. That is very, very nice. How comfortable do you guys feel about this whole um, kind of model thing with passing it to the view? I mean, is that are you guys jiggy with it somewhat? It's not so bad, right? I mean,
It'll take some getting used to, but the construct, the idea is really nice.
exactly. It is very, very nice. It's pretty nice. Now, I'm about to blow your minds. Are you guys ready? Well,
Does anyone have
um,
it?
let me ask you guys a question though. I'm about to hurt you though. Are you guys ready?
All
Oh,
right.
here we go. Let's say that I create a character. Like we go to the create character page, correct? And we create a character and then we display it, right?
Okay.
What happens after we display it and if we want to create another character? Let's do that actually. Um, I want you to figure out what, if anything, is missing or what is wrong. Let's see. I'm going to take this away for a second. Is that cool?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to leave the roster. The roster will stay. Roster is cool because we understand the roster, and the roster's pretty powerful. I'm just going to cut and paste this here for now. These are just people that we have created. All right. That is weird. Oh, okay, yes. Here we go. So, uh, hmm, we got some. Yeah, we got a little time. We're good, I think. Just at least to try to figure this out. Okay, so now go with the flow and explain to me. Go with the flow and tell me how we're doing and see what we're missing. I'm about to run it. Okay. Okay, let's do this. I am running it. Let me know if you guys can figure out, can spot what is wrong or what we might be missing. If we're not missing anything, it's okay. We might not be missing anything. But I'm going to go to the create character page, our awesome create character page. And let's say I'm going to create build with a tasty flute. Run through me with the flow. What will happen? Go ahead. And if we want to create the roster, so we want to create the roster now. So whenever we create a character, we create it and we pass it to the roster page to display it. But, well, I mean, are we missing anything?
I mean, if we want a roster of one, we've got everything we need.
Yeah.
But we don't have a way to create the second character, or we're going to overwrite the first character.
Exactly. Exactly. So, Dave, are you with that? Because
Huh?
are you with it that right now we're kind of limited to just creating one character because every time we create a character here, right? Here, then we have to go back to the create character page, right? And then we create another character. But the old character that we have is gone.
Huh.
Right? Like, for example, let's say if we had a roster page here, right? Let's see. If instead of going to display character, we go to display roster. And we give it a list, and that displays the roster. It's only going to be one. every time, right? Yeah, I'm kind of, I don't know if I'm losing you guys here. I mean, you sort of get it, Dan, right? That,
Yeah.
but yeah, I think we're kind of losing the character every time we're creating a new one. Uh, let's see. Are you with that, Dave? Sort of. Let-
Yes.
yes. Yeah. So we're kind of losing it. So I propose something else, or I propose something very cool. Um, let's see. I'm about to do something cool. Okay, it's 10:25. Do we want to do something cool now? I guess so. Yes. All
You're
right.
gonna tease us?
I'm gonna tease you guys. Okay. Um, I mean, I don't wanna throw you guys off, or because we're made some really good progress here, especially with this type view. But let me give you guys a preview here. Okay. Let's say I create a character. You guys remember process create character here? Okay. All right. So from now on, right? That what that is going to do. You see the character that we create with that information? We're not even gonna we're not gonna do anything. What we're gonna do with the character, guess what we're gonna do? Are you guys ready? We're gonna save that character
Yeah.
because we're gonna use some super duper magical stuff. Are you ready?
Ready.
Watch this. I'm okay. Don't get your mind ready. Get your mind ready because this is gonna be good. This is gonna be good. Okay.
Database. Oh boy.
Yeah. Don't don't freak out. Do not freak out. This is again, I'm just teasing you. Don't get confused. Okay, so imagine if you will, you stepped into the Twilight Zone, right? And we're using magic and stuff. We have a new connection or a new class. It's called a database or DB. And that has the magic ability to save information onto a table or in memory somewhere that lasts forever that you can access later on. Or a database. You guys know what a database is, right? So let's say that in that database, I have a big list of people, a table of people, right? And I could add people to it. See the person that I just created? Remember, don't get freaked out by this, okay? This is advanced shit. Let's see if this does anything. I don't even know if this works, okay? So for now, for all intents and purposes, right? Whenever we process whatever information we get, right, from that form, we create a person, we fill up that person, and we use our cool magic and save that person into our database somehow. Okay? Let's see if it works. It probably won't, but we will see. Are we ready? Okay. Are you guys excited? You guys ready to see it crash? Okay. It's gonna crash.
Crashing cars.
Let's do this. Okay, so let's create character. Okay, so let's see, what is it? Bilbo the Tasty Flute. Let's see a bard. and age 111. Okay, so when I hit this button, let's see what happens. Well, according to this, what should happen? I mean, we're not going to see anything really. It's just return null. Okay, we're ready. So we're not really returning a view. I'm going to hit it. Let's see. Okay. So something happened, right? We didn't see anything because we're just returning null, which means we're not returning a view. It's just we're returning a white screen, sort of. But, I mean, I'm assuming that we didn't get an error and this kind of executed, right? So let's see through the magic of awesomeness, right? This is called SQL Server. Say it with me. SQL Server. Or SQL.
SQL Server.
And I created a database, right? I called it Cool Database. You guys see that? It's called Cool Database. And yeah, in Cool Database, I created a table called person. Do you see it? Okay. So, by the way, this is SQL Express, which you will be downloading later. It's free. I downloaded it today. And it's very easy to install and it's free, so it's very cool. Okay, so I am going to see if there's any info in here. I'm going to right-click it, and I'm going to say, select top 1,000 rows. Don't get confused by this. You're going to learn this really quickly. Just don't let it freak you out, okay? It's easy stuff. So I'm going to see what's in, what's in the rows, what's inside the table. Is there anything in the table? Oh, man. Do you guys see it?
Got a lot of stuff.
Yeah. But
got a lot of null, but it's
oh
there.
no, yeah, that's their default value. Yeah. If I set it so if we do not set a value for any of these, this is their default value, pretty much. Except for the ID, which grows automatically by 1. So build with a tasty flute. Isn't that cool? Pretty nice. Let's create another one. Are you guys ready?
Yeah.
Okay, let's do another one. So create character. Who should let's see. Let's create Baron. Wizard. 1,000. Okay, let's create it. So again, remember all our code is doing taking it and saving it, creating the person with that and put it in the database. Did it save? I'm gonna refresh it by pressing F5. There it is. Baron Wizard. So that's pretty cool. By the way, do not be too concerned how I connected the database with Visual Studio. It's very easy, but it's something that you don't need to concern yourself about now. Just know that you are able to put stuff into an object of a type person, and the database knows because it's sort of related to the, it's similar to one of their types in a way. But yeah, don't let that confuse you. So I'm gonna do this quick and dirty now because I know we're running out of time. Maybe, I don't know. So are you guys good with how we're creating and saving data here for now? Magically delicious. Okay.
Yep.
And so we have roster here. You guys remember roster? Nice. Our old friend roster. So let's say that I have roster here. And let's say I'm creating a cool database object or connection, right? And what kind of, we have roster, right? So let's say that magically I could put in roster the whole table of people. Remember, don't get freaked out here. Don't get freaked out. Yeah. This is just magic talk. All that I'm doing here is just the database object, this table, turn it into a list, and put it in roster. So when I say put it into a list, it just means turn this into one person. So grab the whole table, so every item in the list of the people table, and put it in roster. And since we're already passing roster, which is a list of people, and again, the table in the database is all it is just a list of people types, then let's see if it works. Again, we don't even know if it's going to work. So let's see. All right, let's we might crash here. We might crash, okay? So let's see. Okay, game. Oh, look at that. That's pretty pimp, right? This is kind of advanced and stuff, but I'm kind of giving you a glimpse here of what is possible.
Still awesome.
So in essence, really, we could now create kind of any kind of data-driven program. Well, not yet. I have to kind of go in depth how to, what this is and whatnot. But in essence, we can just create any website that can collect people's information and retrieve people's information and do calculations on it and do all sorts of stuff. But from here, this is kind of where it gets interesting, or, well, not interesting, but it gets real. Because this is a step over UI design or website design. This is kind of back-end stuff, pretty much. And again, this is pretty cool, right? You see it? This is right here. And again, you understand that it's a class and it's a model that gets passed around and is used by all sorts of different things. So I'm going to give you a few seconds there to rest your brain. So how do you feel about this? Do you kind of get this a little bit? Are you with it?
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, it looks cool, right? It seems pretty cool, and I think we're getting to the point where we could do some pretty serious stuff. Dave, how you doing with this? Are you there? Somewhat, a little bit.
Yes.
Okay. So yeah, so I think we're gonna.
Might be more powerful than Access.
Oh, this is infinitely more powerful than Access. Yes.
Yeah, Access is just clunky.
Well, Access is kind of like a very, 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 very simple version of this. I mean, Access is a database, but it's just like a very simple database. This is just, it's a whole, powerful database type thing. It's very strong. But yeah. Also, one thing that I wanted you to know is, like, do you guys see how they all have different IDs? Right?
Yeah.
So we're going to be using that sort of to access them or represent them in a way, at least an easy way. But anyway, so yeah, so I don't want to hurt your brain too much. I will be packaging this code and putting it, giving it to you, so you guys can take a look at it. And I, before Sunday, or whenever we get together, I'll put a lot of the notes and put them in a easy to read way, because I think we're getting to the point where you'll be doing this on your own, or at least part of it, and you will need easy access to a lot of these things. So definitely let's work on consolidating our notes and making it easy access. Okay, but again, man, this is good stuff. And by the way, this is pretty advanced stuff, and this is where the money is, pretty much. Once you understand this stuff, I mean, it's really the sky's the limit. And understand one thing that I would really like to, again, iterate, right, reiterate, and then, I got to keep on giving it to you is that think of the flow. Do you see how we added kind of like an extra layer of flow here? Because not only are we coming from the view, going into the controller, going into the action, now we're flowing into the database too. You see it? So that's another flow in there somewhere. Let's see. Yeah, there you go. You see it? You see model, SQL. See how it's connected? The model somewhat. So that's pretty cool. Okay, so we are done for today, and I hope you guys enjoyed today's I don't know, not lesson, but yeah, whatever we learned today. I hope you enjoyed it, because this is good stuff. This is where the money is. It gets getting interesting. So any questions? Anything else? When are we meeting again? What's up?
I am free. I have no Sunday restrictions as of now.
Okay.
If you wanted to do it later, or we could still do it early.
Sunday's good. Dave, are you good for Sunday? What's up?
Sunday seems fine.
Okay. I mean, do you prefer any, like, what is the time good for you? What's up? Sunday's good?
3 to 5.
Yeah, no, yeah, exactly. That's what. Okay, so Sunday 3 to 5. Let's do it. Okay, so I'm gonna package this and send it out and try to take a look at it. And do download what do you call that? SQLite for free.
SQL Express.
SQLite? Okay.
SQL Express, yeah. That is what we're gonna be using.
Wait, Light or Express?
Express, sorry.
SQL
Yeah,
Express.
I think it's the same thing somewhat. Yeah. Let's see, which is the one that yeah, it's SQL Express. SQL Express free. Just get free stuff. There we go. SQL Express 2017. That's what I got. This is your bad boy.
Oh, this is the official Microsoft. Okay.
Yeah. That's the jam. Yeah, again, Microsoft is giving a lot of easy access to pretty much all the developers, which is pretty crazy for free.
It's funny because in a lot of cases, people want you to pay for that, but Microsoft is such a big company. What they want is for people to have access to it.
Yep, and they're going all out.
Companies will pay all those licensing fees.
Exactly. Yeah, and they will. Yeah, no kidding. Yes. As long as you know your stuff, the companies will get the stuff, or there's something similar that you can get for like cheaper price. But as long as you understand the technology somewhat, I think it's the same or similar.
Yeah.
All right, so everybody, good night and take it easy.
Thank you. Have a good one.
No problem. Yep.
Enjoy QXTs.
Oh yeah. I'll send some pictures for you guys.
Oh, you do that. Hey, how friendly are they to? If I ever show up, I do some camera work. Are they friendly towards?
They're very friendly. Yeah, they don't care.
Okay.
Yeah.
One of these days we'll get out there.
Yeah, no, you got people all over all the time with cameras doing all sorts of stuff. Yeah, they're pretty cool with it. Yep. All right.
Thank you.
No problem. Luke.